we've got is to this puppy out, slap her on a trailer, and head on down the road.
In less than 1 week, this brick house in Covington, Louisiana must hit the road, concrete foundation and all.
It seems a little crazy that you're going to dig around a house and then just lift it up.
And that slab is extremely important because we've got to have that to just maintain the integrity of the house.
The brick house, which is estimated to weigh 200 tons, is moving 500 feet across a subdivision just north of Lake Pontchartrain.
I'm basically out in the country. I get that country feel.
So Arlo Guthrie
My real name is Lawrence Guthrie.
and his daughter Jenny can finally have a home in the country.
The bay windows are my absolute favorite part of the house. I love bay windows.
Jenny's kitchen bay windows, when she's doing the dishes, will be right here. So she can look out and listen to the birds, see the woods, and have an inner peace about her.
The 3-bedroom, 2-bath home has never been lived in.
That's not a used house, that's a new house.
It was built in 1988 as a model home for a new subdivision.
Usually, developers will build a model to kind of show the house in its natural surroundings.
But now, the developer wants to tear it down to build a new model.
He's very anxious to get this thing out of here and get another house built in its place.
So Arlo got the house for the rock-bottom price of $40,000.
I couldn't see this house being just torn down. I just felt like this house needed a home. It was designed to be a home, so why not make it a home?
But it's going to cost another $70,000 to make the move.
This will turn ugly real quick if you hire somebody that really doesn't know what they're doing.
To start, the crew must lift the entire house out of the ground without cracking the concrete foundation.
When we lift it up, the slab is like a plate of glass, and you can't twist it.
Then the 200-ton house must climb out of the hole left by the foundation. The load is so heavy, the only way out is by remote control.
There's really not a vehicle that'll handle the amount of weight that's at the front of the house. This unit right here is actually going to be what is powering the house. And we just go forward, neutral, and reverse, and the whole house will self-propel.
Once on level ground, the house must navigate a series of tight turns to Arlo's land.
One false move, and my house is sliding off of that trailer and in the dirt.
Rain and mud will be a constant threat.
It is the rainy season, so it just kind of stays wet, stays gummy. It's like gumbo type muck.
And rain or shine, it all has to happen in the next 4 days, or the house will be torn down.
So here we are on the 11th, and they have to have it moved by the 15th of February.
It's a model home, for crying out loud. It would be a waste to destroy it.
I'm ready now. I'm like, let's go. Let's do it.
And 3 days before the move, the weather is holding, for now.
I was watching the weather, and it looked like it was going to rain.
When?
Tonight and maybe early tomorrow morning. They're under the gun now, because if it rains tonight, then it will get worse than this.
The crew has just 1 day to remove all the dirt under the house and replace it with jacks.
They'll build a temporary little base with the screw jack to hold the house up.
Don't want to move too much of it because that ground is still there. It's still supporting the house.
That's amazing. I have never seen big trucks move like that. I was picturing, a bunch of guys with shovels. I'm just scared they're gonna run into the house or break windows. I mean, bricks fall down, and those are big trucks. So we'll see.
Go ahead and open it up like from here, and open it up so we can come in here, huh?
That's crazy. It's like a dirt spatula.
Gotta be careful that I don't get in their way.
I need that dug out in the back. See where I've been hitting?
They're not fooling around.
And by the end of the day, the only thing supporting the 200-ton house is 50 jacks.
They look pretty small, Warren assures me we certainly got enough jacks under there to hold this house up.
It's very nerve-wracking because the ground that was there when they initially built this house isn't there.
Looking heavier now that it doesn't have the support of the soil. And that slab is just basically teetering on the few jacks that they have.
But the next day, things take a turn for the worse.
It poured down rain last night and kind of flooded us.
We've got a moat around the house. It's even filled with water from last night.
So I'm just gonna pump all the water out and then we'll just deal with it however we can.
And to stay on schedule, the heavy house must be lifted up out of the ground, concrete foundation and all,
I would estimate somewhere around 200 tons.
and put on wheels today.
It took us about an hour and a half to pump all the water out.
Rumor has it they're gonna start doing some major lifting things today, but we'll see.
The lift can't begin until the house and the foundation are supported with a safety net of steel beams.
These weigh 13,000 pounds apiece.
You get one in, I'll get the other.
Okay, no problem.
And the beams feel even heavier in the mud.
It's tough going, and the mud is probably hampering our progress just a bit.
It just makes each step heavier. If you stay in one spot for too long, your foot will come out of your boot, and your boot will stay in the ground.
Well, they've got all the beams in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's taken all day, but the house is finally ready to lift up and out of the mud.
I thought you were going to lift it today.
But the lift will have to wait until tomorrow.
This mud kind of slowed you up a little bit.
A little bit.
Time is running out.
They have to have it moved by Thursday. It's part of our agreement.
There's no time for any lollygagging.
And this move is bogged down worse than ever.
This whole project depends on being able to get this house onto the road today. Today is it. Now Thursday morning, this thing is traveling up and out.
In just one day, this 200-ton house in Covington, Louisiana must move off this lot,
On a slab with wheels.
or it will be demolished to make way for a new home.
They have to have it moved by Thursday. It's part of our agreement.
Lawrence Arlo Guthrie and his daughter Jenny are determined to drag the house to their new lot, just 500 feet away.
The total square footage is around 1,700 square feet.
And now you have a breakfast nook.
I have a breakfast nook. That's desirable.
I'm looking forward to making it a home and not just a house, and I think it's going to be great.
But one day after a heavy rain, mud is still a problem.
We're coming in and we're scraping off about a foot of muck to get down to a harder layer just so we can walk around without getting our boots stuck in the mud.
And the crew must still raise up the house 5 feet on jack without concrete slab foundation beneath it.
We'll lift it up 6 inches at a time.
There's a hydraulic system underneath, so the entire house is going to lift at the same time.
If you don't lift it up perfectly even, it could cause damage to the house.
Is it moving? No, not yet. Oh, yes, it is. Wow.
The first lift is always the one that takes the longest. You want to make sure that there's absolutely no damage done to the house.
I feel a little nervous.
All right, now that.
Looking real good, huh, Chris?
Came up perfect.
Oh, good. Came up real good.
The first lift is a success.
I'm gonna go check our weights real quick. The building weighs less than what we thought, which is good. It weighs 286,000 pounds, which ends up being 143 tons.
That's 57 tons less than they estimated.
Having it lighter than they expected is awesome.
But it's still a very heavy load, and there are more than 4 feet left to go.
You have a cement foundation, brick on top of that. Everything is already in the house. It would be a whole nother story if the house had been gutted.
This is the final lift before we go ahead and have enough room to get all of our dollies in place.
It's no longer on the ground. This house is in the air.
We're gonna go ahead and install our dollies.
But there's only time to get one set of wheels under the house tonight.
We would have probably had the house moved by now and in position if that storm hadn't have come through.
Now there's just 1 day left to finish the entire move.
Today is move day. It's happening. It's going down today.
And there are still sets of dollies to place under the house
Look like they're attaching airplane wheels, doesn't it?
and rig with hydraulics.
That's the actual engine that'll power the dollies. They're self-propelled. So the house itself created it into its own vehicle. It'll sell onto the new lot.
Is it going to be morning or PM?
I'm not real sure.
The way Warren thinks, he's got 24 hours to do it. Me, I'm thinking he's got 8 hours. That's it.
There's no time for any lollygagging. There's no time to mess around and think about, oh, well, this is not going to happen today, because that's not an option.
But it isn't before the house is ready to go.
This whole project depends solely on being able to get this house onto the road today. Today is it.
And this move is already a half day behind schedule.
I'm just saying, let's get rolling. In a very literal sense, let's get rolling.
But when the house finally gets rolling,
Pump's busted. Pump's busted. Where you can see, it's spraying from over here.
things don't get any easier.
We broke a pump, and that's got to be replaced.
We need to get it done today.
Last time I talked about time, it was 9:20, somewhere in there. Now 1:20.
It's after 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Covington, Louisiana. Move is already a half day behind schedule.
I see some motion. I want to see the house move just a tiny bit.
Arlo Guthrie and his daughter Jenny must drag their 143-ton house 500 feet to a new lot by the end of the day.
We're ready to move. We're ready to move.
Or it will be torn down to make way for a new home.
I just got the kind of the thumbs up from Warren.
Nearly 5 hours after the move day began, the house finally starts rolling.
This thing is moving right now.
The entire 143-ton load is propelled by nothing more than a hydraulic engine that's mounted to the house.
That's our engine.
It has hydraulic hoses that actually run the dollies.
So it's coming this way. So you all better stand back because we're moving up this hill.
The wheels must stay centered on a temporary road of steel plates, or the 143-ton load could bog down in the mud.
We have 8-foot by 10-foot sheets of steel plate, and those dollies will just tiptoe right across it.
A backhoe helps anchor the house.
He just wants to ensure that he's got good traction by keeping it straight, because once it starts, you don't want to stop it. Once it starts, you gotta go. You gotta go.
When I need to go, he needs to go. Okay, Chris, are we on the plate?
Now it's moving, baby. Warren, those front tires, the front tires are going off this way. Oh, my house. There's so much stuff happening. You got to keep your eye on the plate. You got to keep your eye on the wheel. Plus, you got to make sure you're going straight.
There are just 50 feet to go before the house is off the lot.
Everything looks really well.
Pump's busted.
Pump's busted.
I don't know. It's kind of shooting up in there. Where you can see, it's spraying from over here.
The hydraulic engine is blown.
It was thought we broke a line, but I think we broke a pump instead. And that's got to be replaced.
And that could take days.
We need to get it done today.
They have no choice but to keep moving without the engine.
The backup plan that we're going to use in place is just basically pull it out.
Pull it out with a backhoe and a front-end loader.
So they're attached, they're ready to go, and they're going to try to pull it out of here.
It's a real heavy load, and we want to play it real safe. You don't want to pull in and put any stress on the house.
We are dealing with something very fragile.
Go ahead, Vince, go back a little bit. All right, hold it. No, hey, it's okay. Hold it.
We got about 2 feet before we come into this tree. This tree comes into play.
Okay, hold it.
Hold up.
We're gonna lift up the dollies on the right-hand side of the house. It'll push the house away from the tree. Give us a little bit of room so we can go ahead and come by.
Here we go, guys.
It's going to come close.
Vince, give me some slack on the other side. Hold up. Hey.
That's good, Daddy.
Yeah. We're good there.
Good thinking. I didn't want to replace a porch.
But it's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the house still is not off the lot.
He's got maybe 2 hours of daylight left.
And the road ahead is a mess.
Oh. Right now, they're really concerned about that set of tires. Hold it!
It is nearly 3 o'clock on move day. Arlo Guthrie's house has yet to hit the road.
As soon as he's in position, he's going to bring those dollies back in line with this road.
The 143-ton must be pushed around a tight turn onto the dirt road.
Front dollies are gonna have to go hard to the left to get onto the road.
Nothing more than a backhoe.
Is that all you'll go? Whoa. Let down.
We're out of the driveway. The hole is a thing of the past. And now we're venturing into new frontier.
Now there's just another 500 feet to go.
Time's at a premium right now.
And daylight is fading fast.
He's got maybe 2 hours of daylight left. So, or less than 2 hours of daylight left. So he's in a time crunch. We're about 125 feet away. We're ready to set her down.
But mud has made the new lot a mess.
My concern is that they don't have enough plate.
And there's one more tight turn to make.
Whoa. Right now, they're really concerned about that set of tires.
We're very, very close.
Oh, I say we're so close. You know, that plating is just not quite there. 10 minutes till 5. Sun is getting there. I think we've got another hour. Corner of the house to the corner of the stake, 15 feet. Uh-oh, gonna need a push. She's turning.
We got off our plate a little bit, and the valley sunk down about 1.5 feet. We're gonna push a steel plate underneath it.
It's 20 minutes till 6. We're almost halfway. The house corner is right under the front door.
Watch this, real close. Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! Okay, tell Vincent to stop. All right, you let us know, Arlo. You eyeball it up there.
All right.
Hold it!
I like it.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
That's why he wants it!
That's it.
That's right on the money.
It's 6:24. It's the end of the day. You did it, Warren.
Are you satisfied?
Thank you. We're here. There's no cracks that I can see.